رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وعلى إمام المرسلين سيدنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. أما بعد, the project coordinator Dr. Rekia, who I believe she has been missing me for not being around for long. Another woman by her side, Aja Rafatu, I'm the only one that knows the middle name as Olose Salami. You're welcome. And my brother here, Mother Umar Farouk. Where is Mother Umar not sitting here?
I'll tell you, sir.
Okay. And the secretary, who is the grant officer for this project, and Mullah Awal that is hiding because he has not finished what he's doing, and our participants, the brother that has led us in prayer, I think he's the only one that has gone to a good school among all of us sitting here, because he finished from the University of Ibadan. And the sister that read the glorious Quran for us, we are so impressed and proud of you. I think Doctor mentioned something to you. Do not get intimidated. Why is it that women, you are afraid of talking? Even men, especially when they are in public. Almost, I will teach you one thing. You should learn not to talk much, but you should learn to say something. When you are in public, I want you to have it at the back of your mind. When they want volunteers, when you stand up, you represent Islam. But learn not to talk much, so that people will not know your inadequacies. But learn to talk so that everybody will be impressed that this one represents Islam. That is just the truth, the truth of it, and the secret of it. Learn not to talk much. 2-3 sentences, they will be looking for you after. But when you want to say everything, anybody who wants to say everything is the only one that will enjoy what he's saying. Other people will not enjoy him or her again. That is the secret of talking in public, to give yourself confidence in what to say. So please and please, all of you, you have it at the back of your mind. When they say volunteers, stand up with pride. You are a Muslim and you can do it. An average Muslim is a genius, you better know. An average Muslim is a genius, but we always don't want to show it. So please and please, don't feel shy to say anything. So, and to all of us, and to the media, I want to appreciate you, and I want to thank you. We are even here before some of us who are the participants. Thank you so much. But I now say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Do not be surprised, we invited just 25 people. So it's not a program of everybody. It is highly selected. And we know, highly selective, and we know the reason why we are doing that. It's not a program of everybody. But it's so important that it has to be made known, even to those who are not here. Many of us do not know that to involve the media in what you are doing, especially Islam, is actually part of our religion. The Prophet ﷺ, in his last sermon, he said, those of you who are here should take the message to those who are not here. It means involve the media. So those of you who are in the media and those of you who are Muslims, you should be proud to say that the work you are doing was one of the professions that was commanded by the Prophet himself. So we want to thank you and we want to welcome you here. The program which we are doing, it is a result of combination of the one which name is Project Eat Halal, Eat Fine. Eat Fine is because we discover that the entire world, especially our country, is engulfed in serious corruption. I don't know whether you watched one viral video that is going on around now, about 2 days ago. One guy from abroad, he said the quality of the sign or the symbol of corruption in the world is in Nigeria. He just came to Nigeria in the airport. He said, if you do not want to be tested for coronavirus, tip the man. If you do not want your luggage to be checked, tip the man. If you don't just want to go and you shunt everybody, say tip the man. It's just going viral now. Just yesterday, before yesterday, that everything in our life is about corruption. But the question is, shall we continue like this? If this corruption continues like this, one day will be one day, there won't be a country called Nigeria again. That we must do something fast. And that is why you are also involved. Because you are the one who will take over. But if you don't know what to take over, what exactly you want to take over, I'm afraid we might crash land. And that is why you people, we are also involved. You are invited that what can we now do to change the narration, the narratives? What can we now do to make things better? What can we now do to solve this problem of corruption? If I ask all of you the effect of corruption, you all know it. You all know it in your educational institutions. You know what corruption has done. On the road from your house to the school, you know what corruption has done. Even in your hospital, you know what corruption has done. So many things you know, you have been involved, you have seen it, you have experienced it, you have witnessed it, the effect and the impact of corruption. So the question now is, are we going to continue like this? If we are not going to continue like this, many of the young ones too, what is in their brain now is that they want to get positions so that they can go and steal. Am I lying? That they too, they want to work in NNPC, they want to work in presidency, so that all the remaining money they can also finish, they can also be able to corner it to themselves. But is that the right thing? Is that the right thing? It means the young ones, you have to do something. And incidentally, what is trending in the world now is actually the digital life. When that man was, the brother that read Quran for us, it was, as he was reading, when he introduced himself, he finished from the great University of Ibadan. I now remember an experience that happened to me at that great citadel of learning. The school that is the school of all the schools, they call the great University of Ibadan.
Only after
in the university then, the way you don't have money was the way we don't have money. When I was in 300 level, I was the secretary of the departmental association. They call it HALCA, Arabic and Islamic Studies Department. And in the University of Ibadan then, there used to be what we call departmental week. Do they still do it now? In the university, they still do it. They call Hall Week. I was the secretary of the department, the HALCA. There was a woman that came here when we were doing program, Ajarafa, that I was making jest of her. She was a witness. When there was no money and we don't want to beg and we don't want to steal, we used to borrow public address system to do our program, and it is 1 week. The department now gave me money to go and borrow public address system. And what is public address system we use that time? You just buy wireless microphone and your radio tape. We call it tape there. I don't know whether you still know tape now. Where you play cassettes. Incidentally, I have a good one and my roommate has another good one. But the money they gave me was not enough to buy wireless microphone. I have to pick my senior brother's car. May God forgive him, he's late now. I use his car. I did Kabu Kabu from Oshun, from Odeodun to Ibadan. The money I got there, I added it to the money they gave me in the department. I went and buy wireless microphone. I took my friend's radio and my own. Then we began to rent it out. Till I graduated, there was no single week I don't have money. Alhamdulillah, people thought our parents, they were very rich towards the end of our stay in the university, because at the end of the day we bought another one, so that if you borrow one, we give you my friend's tape and my own tape. So making 2 sets we are able to have. So everybody that now want to borrow, they want to do departmental week, hall week, you will now come to us to come and rent. And how much was it then? I think 1,500 naira. No, I think 150 naira. I think 150 naira. But that 150 naira, the school fees there was about 22 naira. The hall, which you pay, was about 22 naira. So, and it's about 15 naira. So at the end of the day, we began to have so much money. At least we did not need our parents to survive. The point I'm trying to raise is, now, what is trending in your own time? It is this. What now can you do to begin to become a source of, to become a model to all your peers, that you will not be waiting for anybody before you leave, and your mind will not be, you will not join